All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on this beautiful planet. Welcome to the Inner Circle Live for New York session. I'm your host for this morning's session, Benny Allen. I'm definitely happy and grateful for each and every one of you being here with us this morning as we take a look at the technicals and the fundamentals to see what we can take advantage of in this Forex market. So, without further ado, let's make sure that we turn off any and all distractions, grab a pen and paper, take lots of notes, and let's make sure that we participate and engage. If everybody can hear me loud and clear this morning and you're all ready to go, do me a huge favor, drop me a 1 in the chat so we can get this session rocking and rolling. All right, I see the ones come in. I appreciate it, Kay. I appreciate it, Nat. All right, so each and every morning we start with a strong foundation here in the Forex trade room, and we do that by taking massive action, making sure that we are accepting all possible losses before entering a trade, preparing you for any outcome. We want to make sure that we center ourselves in body, mind, and spirit, assuring a balanced approach to trading, and that we trust in our education, strategy, trading skills, and intuition. And we always want to imagine our trade successfully materializing. We want to be sure that we are obeying our trading strategy, avoiding decisions based on greed or fear. And we want to make sure that we are never looking back or stopping once our trades have commenced. All right. So hopefully everybody has that strong foundation as they approach the market. That is very, very important, right? That we do that each and every day, right? As we look to play this game. So hope everybody had a great day yesterday and are all set to get things going for this morning's session. So to start out, right, taking a look at the fundamentals, we know, right, we talked about activity possibly picking up towards the middle of the week, and that everybody was waiting on exactly what we see here on our screen, CPI data for the United States. U.S. inflation rate set to pick up. The annual inflation rate in the United States likely accelerated to 2.6% in October, up from 2.4% in September. On a monthly basis, CPI is expected to rise by 0.2%, consistent with the previous 3 months. Inflation is believed to have been driven up by rising prices of used cars, airfares, shelter, and insurance. Meanwhile, core inflation is projected to stay at 3.3% annually and 0.3% monthly, right? So we'll see how the market reacts to that data. Today, we'll see if this is right, right? This is the projection. We'll see what the official numbers look like. European stocks edged up. So they tried to recover Wednesday after a nearly 2% drop the day before, which left the stocks 50 at a 2-month low, and the stock 600 at a 3-month low. So French jobless rate edges higher to 7.4%. They're not having a lot of growth there either, right? So some issues coming out of France. Zero, really. So that's a bit of an issue. Dollar holds gains ahead of key inflation data, right? So taking a look at the dollar, held around 1059 on Wednesday, holding near its highest levels in 6 months as investors brace for the October Consumer Price Index report, which could influence expectations for future Federal Reserve rate cuts. Traders also looked ahead to Thursday's Producer Price Index report and Friday's retail sales data. In addition, investors were closely monitoring the latest Fed commentary with Jerome Powell, scheduled to speak on Thursday. It's going to be important, right? So we have a lot of Fed members, but he is by far the most important. The dollar has continued to benefit from the so-called Trump trades, with markets betting on a strong U.S. economic growth and inflationary policies under a second Trump presidency, which would limit the Fed's ability to lower interest rates. Currently, markets are pricing in about a 60% chance of a 25 basis point rate cut in December, down from 84.4% a month ago. The dollar remains strong against other major currencies, particularly the euro, which fell to a 1-year low. Right? So uh, we know uh, that the possibility of Trump tariffs could have a huge impact on the euro area, right? So that's one of the major areas that can impact, right, negatively. So that's where we are, right? We'll see what happens with the data, see if we can get the market rocking and rolling. But we're still looking at a fairly strong bullish US dollar. All right. Taking a look at crude oil. WTI futures rose above 68 a barrel on Wednesday, slightly rebounded from two-week lows, supported by short-term supply tightness in the physical market. Still, the declining demand outlook continued to weigh on the sentiment. Continue to weigh on the market sentiment. OPEC cut its 2024 global oil demand growth forecast for the fourth time, now expecting an increase of 1.82 million barrels per day, down from the 1.93 million last month due to weaker than expected data from key consumers like China. China's announcement to increase fiscal spending fell short of investor expectations, further dampened the disappointing inflation data from the world's largest oil consumer. Also, investors worry that potential U.S. tariffs under President-elect Trump may further disrupt the Chinese economy. All right, so that's that there. Gold rose above 2,600 per ounce on Wednesday, likely in a technical recovery as attention shifted to key U.S. data. For insight to the Federal Reserve's monetary policy outlook, key points include the consumer inflation report later in the day, followed by the PPI data and weekly jobless claims on Thursday and retail sales data on Friday. Gold still remains near two-month low as expectations have recently increased that the Fed may delay its easing cycle next year due to Trump's fiscal strategies and inflationary policies. Traders now see a 60% chance of another rate cut in December, down from the 80% forecast last week before last week's election. Meanwhile, the World Gold Council reports that gold ETFs shed around 809 million in early November, driven by North American outflows and partially offset by Asia. Right, so we'll continue to watch, see what happens with gold on that front. All right. Any questions regarding any of the fundamentals, anything that you all might have read yesterday regarding anything that's fundamentally occurring in the market? No? All right, let's go over and hit the charts, right? Taking a look at the DXY, right? We see that we are pushing, right? Pretty good to the upside, right? We are bullish, right? We're not even quite overbought yet on our stochastic. Let's see what happens with that CPI data today. Here, so we come off this loop here. So there we go, right? We got a bullish dollar pushing up into an 80-20 zone on the 4. Here we've got this fib still running hot, right? So 1 hour D extension. See if we can get that hit, right? Got a little bit of double top action there. It's weird. So we'll see how that runs. But we've got a bullish dollar. Wouldn't surprise me if we hit that D extension, right? So staying long on the dollar right now. Any questions on the DXY? Overall, it's been long. You all know that. All right. Right out the gate. Any pairs that you guys wanna prioritize this morning before I get going through the charts? Or are we just gonna roll through? Nothing. Nothing. It's been kind of slow with everything. We're waiting on the on this data. So yep. So we got two that want to take a look at gold. All right. So we'll do that one. We'll do that one right out the gate. All right. And so let's take a look at gold. That's cool. So we'll take a look at commodities. Gold. See what's going on. Yeah. So here was this move on the 1 that we had moving down, right? So that's your 1 hour chart there. We're testing that support at 25.99, right? Just like we talked about yesterday. I expect that extension to be hit, right? Maybe a slight pullback there. We move down. Take a look at the 15-minute chart. So 15-minute, we got an 80-20, right, on your 15 here, right? So you two target levels there, 382, 61.8, right? So maybe we do right for this reaction off this 25.99 level. Maybe we get a pullback. Overall, I'm seeing maybe possibly one more drive down. We'll see what happens with that CPI data today to see if it pushes that price up, right? See if it pushes that price up there. But that's a possible play. Recent.net. What time frame are you following for gold?
Same, 15 and 5 looks the same for me.
15 and 5 looks the same. Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. So we know we're in the midst of a huge correction. It's been bullish, right? So I won't go up to the higher time frames. We'll leave it right here. Yeah. 80-20 on the 30. Playing 80-20 on the 30. Okay. So you got a 30-minute 80-20. So we know we got it on the 15, 5-minute, and then we'll move and take a look at it on the 30. So reset to the 30-minute. So 30 looks like that. 30 reflects that one out, right? And then we got the sub fibs running. So same look, right? 30-minute 15-5, right? 80 20 scenario. That's not right there. Okay. On that fib on the 30. So we overextended there. Here was our first low. So just need to adjust that. Yeah, that's just slightly off. Right? Should be, but still kind of landing in the same place. Oh, just yeah, should look like that. Yeah, right. Should move back up to your 382, 160, 180. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes it's off because of how sometimes it gets thrown off a bit because of how fast it accelerates, right, in one direction or the other. And it doesn't catch it. So that's more so there. But it's all good, right? So great job. Drop some sevens in the chat. Some opportunities there for the counter trend move back to the upside. Good day trade. Good day trade there, right? So that's where we are on gold, right? Still correcting. We read the fundamental data as to why. And so we'll continue to keep an eye on that. So that is gold. I think that was the only one we had was gold. All right. So let's get into it. Let's do some hunting, right? Let's see what's out here as we're in the middle of the week. Been a bit of a grind ahead of CPI, PPI data, employment numbers. So we'll move to the top, and we are going to get old school, right, and just go from the top down and get rolling through, right. So here we are on this Aussie CAD, right, having some struggles, right. So let's first look at the Australian dollar. See what's going on. We know Trump trades. Uh, Inflationary, right? So we know we talked about how the Trump trade, right, can have an impact on China. China is Australia's largest trading partner, right? So we can see here that the Aussie was also pressured by declines, right? We know commodity, right, currencies. Declines in iron ore, copper, gold, and oil prices given Australia's status as a net exporter in commodities. Domestically, data show that wage growth in Australia slowed to a near two-year low at 3.5% in the third quarter, missing forecast of 3.6. On a more positive note, consumer confidence surged to a 2.5-year high in November, driven by easing concerns over interest rate hikes. Currently, markets do not anticipate a rate cut by the Reserve Bank of Australia in the near term, with the first possible cut in mid 2025, right? So that's exactly why you're getting this. You got to move down, but for the most part, we kind of it's just choppy, right? The data, right? We got this move down, but you can see here how it's still just, man, small candles moving within this AB boundary. So we'll see if we can still get that play to move to the upside. I'm banking on it against the CAD because the CAD data hasn't been the greatest either, especially with that oil. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, but that's still within the AB boundary. I still would like to see that move to the upside. We'll see if it holds. That's the current play for me. But it's a little bit all over the place, right? As we can see here by the 1 hour check. Right? You really can't even get a legit bid on that. Either way. So that one's kind of just bouncing around. I'm gonna keep the read on that on the 4 hour to see if it eventually picks back up in the U-turns, right? We got a nice push. There was some promise, and then we come right back down to that 78.6 level. So that one's still bouncing back and forth. If you're not if you're not trading it, I don't blame you, right? So, but that's where we are on the Aussie CAD. Hopefully that eventually moves long. Aussie Swissy. I don't think we're getting too much out of these right now. So this is our 4 hour on our Aussie Swiss. Overall, right, still bullish. On the Aussie, definitely haven't been in any type of a major risk off situation, especially since the election. So I say that as it relates to the Swiss franc, but overall, we're just choppy right now on these Aussie pairs. But overall, still within our AB boundary. So we see if we can still get that push up to our D extension at 58.92. So if you're holding long-term swings, right, that one's still in play to the upside, right? So we got the double bottom off the 618 area monthly support, and it's just been a little bit back. And sometimes these take a while to break out. Here we are on the 1. You can see where we broke, right, inner outer long-term trend line, and now in this current fib, right, we're kind of just doing the dance right there. So that's the Aussie Swiss, our Aussie yen. Right? Still liking that long, still liking currencies long against the yen. Here we are on the 4 hour. Right? Just blazing through, right? But we're kind of trapped in this range. And hey, being a trader, being an investor, it requires a lot of patience. Right? So if you're bullish on this pair, right, you took it off the low, you should still be in profit. We're just kind of in no man's land right now. We need to see a continuation, right, if we want to get to that 103.10 level. But I'm still overall bullish on the Aussie yen, barring any type of risk off situation. Any questions there on the Aussie yen? Okay. So when you see it like this coming off the higher time frames, a lot of times in the lower time frames, there isn't a ton of price action. See this going. So it really don't move any lower as a result. Aussie NZD. Right? Kind of just moving back and forth. We still haven't gotten that 382. We came in close and we're moving back. We're moving, starting to move back down. We're ranging. We came in within a few pips of that target. But this here, I don't have a low price to buy off this 4 hour, right? And I haven't hit at least a 382 target yet on the counter, right? So that 80-20 on that Aussie NZD is still in play. We need a correction. If you're looking to only buy to the upside on that, well, we're nowhere near our buy zone here on the 4 hours. So the Aussies aren't giving us too much right now. But these currencies move in cycles, right? And so eventually we'll have a fundamental catalyst to get things to break out right, in the directions that we need it to. So just stay patient, right? Stay patient, right? Rule number one, preserve capital, right? Don't just jump into anything because you feel like you just have a need that you have to be in the market, okay? That you have to be. So here's this Aussie dollar, right, as a result of dollar strength, right? Still moving to the downside. I was hoping that we can get a higher push up, right, for this crown, right, to play out. But that dollar has been relentless. We know what's going on. We just read the details on what's going on in Australia, what's impacting it. Kind of mixed data, really. But I was hoping we can get a higher push right for a right tip, but that may not happen. But overall, right, we're still moving bearish on this on dollar strength, and we oh, we could we move out of here, right? It's just been such a lot of back and forth that you can see here. Uh, you can see here, we run that off the top, how it's just been, that's been pretty chaotic, right? So when you have a fib that was taken out, then we get that huge correction to the downside. I don't even think we had any sort of that 80-20 running off the lows there. We did not. So just been a little bit of chaos, but overall bearish, right? This is in an 80-20 zone, but not this one. We'll watch the CPI data. But it's looking like that one's going to track to that daily support, which would put it in line with that D extension as of right now. But I'll draw a trend line to the outside of that consolidation, and we'll see what happens with. See if anything is you know out of line with the CPI data, PPI data tomorrow that could cause a correction to the upside on that. But right now, right, I'm leaning more towards that going and testing that support first. We've seen it U-turn before, but right now that's a technical 80-20 on the Aussie dollar. And then if we come down to the 1 hour, we've just got to be boundary play there, right? So maybe we will see a correction. Let's see what happens with the fundamentals, but it's definitely structured to the downside, right? So if we get that trend line breaking that move up, we know, right, from our training, we know how to mark these targets, right, on the counter trend. 382, 61, target 1 and 2. Okay. Target 1 and 2. If price breaks that trend line and starts to move higher, we know that our stop is either below the low if we run a tighter stop, the low prior to the trend line break, or, right, you keep that stop wide, let it breathe, and put it at the D extension, right? And so we'll look for, right, that move back. Right? And you're saying, hey, I'm bearish on this Aussie dollar, that you actually needed to move higher anyway, right? Because you need a high price because we like to sell high. So regardless of which way you want to play it, with the trend or the trying to counter trend move, right? That would be our counter trend move to the upside, and then our trend move back to the downside. You need a high price. The Fibonacci sequence and the structure in which we teach makes it easy. So there we go on that. That's the Aussie dollar. Any questions on that on the AUD USD trade? All right, cool. So that some of you didn't have control of your minutes. All right. So there we go on that. Moving down, Bitcoin. Everybody's going crypto crazy, right? Yeah. So this is where we are. Still moving bullish. Here's our 4 hour. I don't know why my daily chart. I don't know because I was doing it from my phone. There we go. So that daily move. Charts got mixed up. All right. So we're way overextended. Way overextended. So if we come down to the 4 hour though, right, we can see where, hey, let's see if we can get this low price. That's why, hey, it's okay if you miss a move because the market moves in waves. Oftentimes it comes back and it gives us an opportunity anyway. Right? So no FOMO, right? Just wait. Just wait. See if you can get a low price, a discount on that. So that's a possible play here in the near future. So we got the Aussie, US dollar, BTC, USD, right? Be a continued trend trade uh set up there. Let's take a look at the one, right? New AB boundary there as well. You got possible plays depending on what time frame that you track, right? You've got an opportunity, right, to uh to get involved in a continued run to 100,000 for Bitcoin, right? All right. 1 hour D extension uh, puts you at 98,880. Let's see if our 4 hours. 4 hours, 98,785. So right, so not too far off. Okay, so
Is that a
possible
head and
play.
shoulder on the 1 hour there from
Uh,
the B boundary?
uh where you see? Oh, right here. You talk about in this area?
Yeah.
Yeah, possibly, right? Possibly, because it's struggling at that B boundary, right? So a slight pickup there. So I don't know. It's not in my sweet spot to trade it, but we could, right? We could see it pick up from there, depending on how that momentum carries through. All right. See how that momentum carries through on that. See if that picks up, right? Chat for that, right? Especially those you trading at those lower time frames. Right? You can see it, or we got those equal highs right there. So we'll see if it continues to run or if it wants to make a drive down. So it's a good observation there. For a smaller trade, that's what that looks like up there. So we could get that bounce to carry through, right? So that 80 20 zone on that. So we'll see. Right. Other than that, right, if it doesn't hold, right, you take a shot on that move. If it doesn't hold, then you just wait for the lower price. All right. So that is the Bitcoin play. Moving on, I want to take a look at these because they're kind of sitting waiting on some of these CAD setups, and they're it's starting to move, right? It came off the lows. I missed it. I didn't make any type of a play off of it. But you can see here where we got this swing low and it took off. It finally started to move where it had just been bouncing back and forth for a little bit of time. And so you can see within this range it's starting to move higher, right? So I didn't get involved with it because it was so, just completely moving sideways, but it's starting to gain some momentum to the upside, right? So we look at this here, we are in the technical 80 20 play. I don't know if it's gonna hit that D extension first, but you know, if we could get that to move down, right? We'll see at that point. Look at the condition of the Canadian dollar. Look at our sentiment, risk on, risk off sentiment, and then that might be a play in the future, right? But we did not get a 382. We did slightly. I take that back. Uh, kind of. That's a so I'll wait for it if we can get a low price, right, to see if we can get long on that cat swissy. But I don't have anything planned on it right now, so that's what. See if we can get a low price on that, so we can get it to fall. This cat yen. pushing long, right? Pushing long. So, you know, when they move to be less aggressive in regards to rate hikes, right? We started to get long against the yen again, so I'm gonna still hold that position where we're long. This one didn't give me right my level on this CAD yen off the 4, but you can see that it is clearly moving bullish, so we look for that to run into the D extension. Uh, don't think that one's gonna come back, but so didn't hit the sweet spot, didn't take the trade, but we are looking at a bullish CAD yen. So anywhere that we may be able to get in uh, and take advantage. Let me redraw this. Plan around on the lower time frames to get in and get an opportunity in the future on this CAD yen, right? To be a possible play, but definitely leaning bullish on this. Okay. There we go. Right, that's a deeper pullback, 50%, and we're moving along, right? So put our target here. Right. So if you can catch a leg, right, catch a correction, on your lower time frames, then I would look right to ride to that 112.47 target. So we'll circle this here. So we know that's a 1 hour extension. We'll drop down to say the 15. Just to see if we can catch a run. That one's already gone too, right? So what we're trying to do, right, is trying to catch a leg up, a low price to where we can get involved on this move to the upside. That should buy that. So if we get any sort of correction right now, right, possible plays from a day trade, right? And a possible run up to catch it. Other than that, higher time frames, right? You gotta wait to see if you can catch a low price to take that ride back up to 112.47. That's that 1 hour D extension. All right. Any questions on the CAD yet? No. Now, um, if you don't play the uh the lower time frames, then that's not a play that you're gonna make, right? You're gonna sit on your higher time frames, like me for the most part, right? You're gonna sit on your higher time frames and you're gonna wait to see, for a better opportunity to get involved, right? Okay. So, but if you're willing to dig a little bit, you can find a setup a lot sooner than later. Okay. So that's all part of your journey, right? Depending what type of trader you are, what type of time frame you like best. This switch in, that is a swing low, and we've got a stochastic in the buy zone, right? Boom. Right. So at the end of the day, right, that should close out positive, and we look for a continued move up on the Swissy yen. So if you're playing daily, swing highs, swing lows, there's a potential for you there, right? So you can see it coming off of this level here. And if we come down to the 4, let's squeeze out. It's been a while since I really paid attention to these. They've been a bit all over the place, but right, we're still running long, right? So just shy of 786. So we expect ultimately a D extension. Now we know the switch in is a huge mover. So this still has a way to go, right? So we take a look at this 4-hour extension. Okay, right around 182.97. We've got this low that's put in place here. And so we look for this to continue to move long over time, right? So not a bad area and level to see, hey, can I catch the ride, right, to the upside? So let's see if we can come off this low. So if we hang in there, right, we look to keep moving. So what I'll do is I'll drag this 4-hour target down like that. Okay. Now that's switch in, so I know that's pretty far away, 740, 741 pips away there. But we'll see. All right, this back. Yeah. Okay. So this is how, right? Sometimes you have to do some digging, right? To find out where your opportunities are in the market. So this switch in, we'll see if we can continue to get a move to the upside. That's a 4-hour D extension. So it's got ways to go. So plenty of time to get involved in that, right? So if you were to take a position, right, on this and put your stop below the A, we saw what the daily time frame looks like. It's just really trying to get going. And that's all you can do is play the probabilities, right? So you have it set up in your zone. If you take this there, say you played this off to 1, right? Because you wanted a tighter stop, then that is one heck of a play, right? If this takes off from here and it moves 741 pips to the upside, right? Okay. All right. So that will be a tighter position. Of course, you have your traditional position where you could have your stop below the low. All right. We take a look at this 4-hour. This one's already taken off. Right. So here, that's the low like we saw on a 1 there off the sub. And if we get that continued move, right? Look like geniuses, right? That that move back up to the upside, like 700, 741 or something like that, somewhere in between. All right. So if fundamentally, hey, I'm bullish on this pair, just find a respectable area that could give you a low price for you to take the ride and start working towards the longer term target. Right. So, even if you took that at 1 mini lot, right, that's still 700 bucks. You take that, you know, at at 5 micros, right? And that's 300 some dollars by the time it's done making a run. Okay, so those are the positions that I like to be at. Okay. Any questions on the switch yet? Mm, all right, see what happens. Okay. Work out your risk management and then let it roll. Let it roll. All right. Moving on down, taking a look at this Euro Aussie. Talked about these yesterday, right? We're starting to get that swing, right? Here's your swing low. There's your swing low there. Okay. Deep correction. Okay. Look at us starting to look at us. We're holding, right? And we're starting to make that move to the upside. Okay. Starting to make that move to the upside. Okay. Stop below the A, below this low here, below this A if you want, on that sub fib. But that's trying to get long. Now we got an A6 retracement, so we expect a 1.18 extension on that if this could stay bullish. Okay. And a lot of back and forth with these pairs. There's a lot of mixed data, you know. We'll see if that can carry through. Okay. So that's your Euro Aussie play. Any questions on that? It's looking like it wants to hold up. Let's see if we can see if it can maintain a move to the upside. All right. Euro CAD. All right. Falling bearish, right? We broke that level. Okay. Broke that level. Yeah. Moving to the downside there. So let's track it as such. Let's come to the four. Let's go way back. Let's see way back and bring it just to be sure. Okay. New AB boundary there in the 4 hour, right? So if pull some of these old markups out of here, right? If we can get it to turn over, right? So we see higher time frame how we broke, right? The level of support. Maybe it tests that level of support, but in the future, right? I'm always thinking ahead. If we can get this move down, right? Now we're in our 80-20 zone. And then we look to, okay. So that's where we are there. Continue to watch the daily. Stochastics in the buy zone. We don't have a swing low here yet. So let's wait and see, right? That'll tell us a lot. Right? If this turns over tomorrow, we move into tomorrow and this wants to go bearish and takes out that low, then that could be pushing down to our 80-20 zone on that point. But just be patient. Be patient. Let's take a look at it. Since we got a new AB boundary, are we already there on the one? That could be a possibility there. Let's draw it up. Beautiful double top. Right. Beautiful double top there. Oh, so we still got an AB boundary play there too. So let's see what happens, right? So we've got a 4 hour, 1 hour. It's a possibility, right? If we hold, right, and we push down, we may get to that 80-20 zone. So nothing doing right now in the Euro CAD. We're gonna hold up on that. Let's continue to be patient. Euro Swissy. All right. Not really doing too much. All right. Not really doing too much. Just moving sideways. All right. We're holding at that support. We're holding at that support level. Let's see if it can pick up a little bit more momentum. Right. Then we could maybe test a pullback. Right. So we've got an AB boundary also off of this impulsive move to the upside, right? 80-20 back down into the zone a while ago now. But this is super choppy, right? So let's just see, right, if we get some momentum and then possibly a pullback. Right? So we've got some highs here, high there, high there. Right? So let's see if we can gain some momentum and get a swing to the upside. We'll catch a pullback on that one. Not quite sold on that yet. On the Euro Swissy. Euro GBP. Right? Starting to push long. Hey, end of the day, all right, we'll have support. If we get back above this monthly level, then we could be pushing higher, right, on this Euro GBP. All right, still hanging below trend line. There, that's what I want to see. Where are we on this? right? So overall, long term, still bearish. Short term play, right? Swing back up to the upside to a high price to continue short eventually. That's what this is looking like. Yep. So this stochastic advisor. So question is how high is that? Because I'm really just I think I may just wait on a high price on this one. Get back short. I don't think I'll play that counter move to the upside. I think I'm gonna wait on that. See if we get a move back down. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna do wait for a high price and then look to play that short. Okay. So 80-20 there, that's missed. Right? Anybody identify that one? Not one of my favorite pairs, so I take my eyes off of it quite often. That was looking good. You said you seen it. Yeah, it's not my favorite to play. So that's going back to that 382. So there's what we're talking about, that break above that monthly level to get to that target and then to push higher. But yeah, I think I would rather wait and get short on this. Myself. See if we can get a high price. All right, because it missed the 80-20 opportunity, so it is what it is. We'll wait to see if we can get a high price now that that's taken. Okay. Any questions on the Euro GBP? Nope. All right, let's keep it moving. Euro yen. All right, we like this long, right? So we can see stochastic, right? Daily, back in that buy zone. Okay, starting to make that swing, right? So we got a 50% retracement there. We're moving higher, right? We're looking to take out a high, any type of pullback and continuation, right? Any type of pullback and a continuation. Looking to stay long on this. Where are we? Yeah. So we got TP1 on that. Right. So congrats if you took that 80-20, took a while, but we got there. I wonder if we're gonna get this continued bounce and move. Right. So the 1 hour, if it continues long, it's gonna get long off this 382 move. So let's see. Right. See if we continue to take out this level and pull back and hold for a continuation. If it turns over and moves deep. So 80-20 play got TP1. We got a double bottom here, which is really what has me thinking that this is going to bounce off this 382 and keep running. But we'll see. I'm willing to wait to see price pull back. And if we get a higher low to see if it's real, there was your 80-20. I mean, your double bottom there. So that's what's got me thinking pull back a continuation. Because quite often we'll see price won't take out that double bottom. So I see what happens. Right? We got time. This continues to run. It's a euro yen play. It's a yen cross. Right? We've got some time. That's a 1 hour. That's almost 300 pips away. We've got a 4 hour. We've got the deeper correction already. right? Where we are now to that extension over 450 pips. So we got time. Be patient. Be patient. See if we can get a retest of this weekly level that could act as support. See if we get that balance. Any questions on the Euro JPY? No. All righty. All righty. Righty. Euro NZD. All right. Look, so you can see, right? This is what I said earlier, like how these currencies just move in cycles. So maybe like the Aussies, they aren't giving you anything, but then you've got some other pairs that are setting up, right? Some other currencies setting up. We don't have a swing low there yet, but we do have a stochastic that's way oversold on the daily on the Euro NZD. We've got deep, deep correction here off of an 80-20 play. So that's a big move, right? That level is critical, right? So 215, 295. And look at how we're holding. We got a nice bullish engulfing candle. Do we hold? And do we see a continuation to the upside? It's a question. So a lot of times, right, in these markets, especially if we're swing trading, you have to sit on your hands, right? You have to sit on your hands and wait. So let's see if we can get uh let's see if we could get price to maintain this momentum to the upside. All right. See if that continues to carry for us. Right. Fibs running to the downside here because of the huge correction. Right. So see if we can 382 there. Well, it's time to reverse. It's time to reverse. Right. So around to like a 15. To see, right, if it wants to continue. Right? So when we go down through the lower time frames, we're just zooming in. We're just zooming in. So does that maintain this positive momentum to the upside? Okay. So that's what that looks like on your 15 minute. Any questions on that Euro NZD? No? All right. Euro dollar. CPI data coming up for the US. Right. We've been bearish, but you can see, right? Look at what's happening. Right. Overall bearish, but look at how we're coming into these key levels every day. Right? This is where you make your money by staying patient and recognizing and identifying the patterns. Right. So coming into key support, right? Do we hold? Do we hold? Do we pull back? Do we continue on to the extension? This one, right? Any dollar related pairs, just know we've got fundamentals coming. So that was the last extension. That's it. Is it time for a slight correction off these levels? There's your D extension there on the 4. Let's see what's going on. So all bearish, but at some point, are we gonna hold here and give it and will it give us a correction to a new high price? That's the question. Right? And do we get short on that? Right? I'm thinking high price and short. Let's see. See if it gives us an opportunity or if it's gonna continue to push down to the respective extensions on these capital. All right. Any questions on our Euro USD? Overall bearish, we're at key support now. No. Ryan, good morning, sir. How are you? I don't know if you're able to talk or not. I know you're busy. You might just be tied up listening in. All right. So, any questions over anything that we went over today, everybody? No, no. All right. Let's keep it moving. Keep our eyes on the chart. Keep our eyes on the chart. Let's continue to work. Right. Accountability session tonight, 6 p.m. Right. Make sure if you can get involved in that, definitely get involved in generating a lot of good ideas out of that group. Right. A lot of good ideas out of that group. With that being said, we review some stuff on Elliott Waves. Yep, and the recording is up. So they reviewed some stuff on Elliott Waves, and the recording is up. We appreciate that, right? Get involved, right? Get involved. We all have to continue to participate in our own rescue, right? We want to get to where we want to be. All right, we want to get to where we want to be. All right, what's
Good
up,
morning,
Michelle?
bro.
Good morning, Ryan. How are you, man?
I'm doing well, man. On the move, but
You sound like it.
I don't have anything to add. I'm just saying good morning. That's all.
Good morning. Good morning, Michelle. What's your question?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. I just want your perspective on what would you say about it's being said that people are more profitable when they focus on one pair versus more than one.
Oh, that comes down to the person.
The person, okay,
Yeah, that really comes down to the person. Sometimes that comes down to lifestyle, right?
okay,
There are some firms, right? Professional firms like where you go in, right? Firms and banks where they'll say, hey, we want you to focus on, yen crosses or this particular pair, or hey, you're my gold trader.
okay,
So yeah, it really comes down to the person and your patience. you know um if you commit to that, sometimes people need to commit to something like that because they're always anxious to be in the market. So if you could kind of create that filter for yourself that, hey, I'm only going to focus on this pair all year. If there's a trade set up there, I take it, that meets my, you know, uh, the requirements for me to trade, meets the rules, then I'll take it. If not, then I'm out the market. But then you have to be willing to do that though.
okay,
Like everybody says it, but then that means you have to leave the market alone. Like when I trade less and let setups that I have run, right? Which is, and some of that is just like I say, it depends on the person. Some of that is me getting older and I've traded for so long now that it's just like, I really want to get into this portfolio game and really letting trades just run because I went from being introduced to this as a fast money thing, right, years ago, and in and out, in and out, in and out, to like, man, I had a lifestyle change, kids, family, life, you know, became a really solid swing trader. And then that really was better for me, right? My stress level wasn't as high. I didn't always have to be on the charts. To now it's just like, how do I act like, hit a hedge fund manager and really put together some really solid portfolios, and how do you develop a perspective, perspectives for that portfolio, and what does that portfolio look to accomplish, what type of return. So, you just kind of evolve, as a person, you know, and as a trader throughout the years. But to trade one pair, there are people who are very successful doing
okay.
it. Yeah, yeah. So it's all about that self-discovery. It's a great question. Really good question. Yeah. So any other questions before we log off? No?
No, but I put the book in the community, so in the general community,
Appreciate it.
the update, so
Check it
PDF.
out. Check it out, everybody. Thank you so much for doing that. All right, so we'll close it out. Hey, I know I'll be back here tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the pre-New York session. With that being said, to everybody, hey, don't just count your pits, but indeed count your blessings. Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks, Benny.
You're welcome.